In today's video, we're going to discuss why you cannot anchor your portfolio with YMAG, JEPI, or SCHD. The dividend funds that I anchor my portfolio to help me earn over $400,000 per year in dividends, as you can see below, and our performance value shows that we're beating all of the indexes with our approach. We're up 35% for the year, 35.7. The S&P's up 23, the Nasdaq's up 23, the Dow's up 15, and the Russell's up 12. So we're beating all of the indexes on a year-to-date basis, and on a daily basis today, we're down 3,000 or 0.20, which, as you can see above, beat the Dow Jones. So we're living financially free out of our brokerage accounts using Cornerstone, Yieldmax, Defiance, and some margin. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. So I have those funds that I just mentioned, but you can't anchor your portfolio to Yieldmax or JEPI or SCHD for that matter. You have to anchor it to Cornerstone, and we're not going to discuss Cornerstone today, but I'm going to just share with you very briefly the numbers with Cornerstone and JEPI, okay? So I use over $500,000 in margin debt currently, but this margin debt does not show up on a credit check to banks, and my margin debt will be paid back in about 1 year thanks to my dividends. The only reason why I'm raising my margin debt right now is because I'm closing out my puts for gains, which actually raise my margin. That's why I sell these puts. It's to lower my margin. If you need help selling puts like I do, that's in my volume 6 e-guide. Selling puts helps me lower my margin and lower my risk. So that's why my margin has increased, because the market's at the highs now. So I'm closing my puts out where I can for gains so that I can manage my risk and raise my available withdrawal. My available withdrawal is here, okay, $248,000. For every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. So I'm just using a fraction of this over 1 million in purchasing power to get ahead. All of the greats that I know of use debt to get ahead. And again, this debt doesn't show up on a credit check. We're charged around 6% interest per year on my margin debt. And many of my clients were able to negotiate their margin rates down as well, because when you buy my e-guide, you get my phone number for life. So you can call me anytime you need help negotiating your rates down. So I don't mind holding this margin debt. The key is being able to withstand over 20% corrections at all times. And if you anchor with a YMAG, for example, you're going to have a lot of trouble staying out of margin calls. And I'll explain in 1 second. With my available withdrawal, you can see that we can withstand over 20% corrections at all times. If we have more than a 20% correction, then my put options that I use will help me make more money than I potentially lost, thanks to the leverage that put options give you. If you need help insuring your portfolio with put options like I do, that's in my volume 5 e-guide. So again, I anchor with Cornerstone, as you know, and this video is not about Cornerstone. It's just to show you the numbers. Okay, go to JEPI here on Morningstar and you'll see it's a 5-star fund, and Cornerstone is a 5-star fund. But why would you anchor with JEPI when Cornerstone made you more money? Okay, look at Cornerstone's growth here. It made you about $31,000 in 10 years. Whereas if you look at the JEPI chart, which again is 5-star, just like Cornerstone, you'll see that it made you about $16,000 over the last few years. Cornerstone has a much bigger dividend than JEPI, so it gives you more qualifying income to banks for loans, okay? As you know, here at this channel, you need dividends to give you qualifying income for loans, okay? You either need a pay stub or you need dividends in order to live financially free out of your brokerage account. So if you want to get a house or you want to get a car or you want loans, you have to have either a pay stub from your job or dividends. And so these dividends help qualify us for loans, and they don't show up on a credit check to banks in a negative way. So they really help unlock my life, okay, to all of the finer things in life, all right? And I can, again, get any kind of loan for anything that I want because of my dividends. But stock gains are up and down, and they don't trust stock gains, bankers. So you can't rely on stock gains for your qualifying income. So I like Cornerstone because it gives you more qualifying income than JEPI, and it makes more money than JEPI, all right? They're both 5-star. JEPI's a 5-star fund. Cornerstone is a 5-star fund, but it makes you more money on that chart. And even if it made you slightly less money on its chart, again, I like the qualifying income aspect for Cornerstone because that's how you really live free out of your brokerage account. And then the dividends pay back your margin. Whatever losses you have in the market, your dividends will eventually cash flow you. That's why I like going with the dividend approach instead of going with the stock-based approach, because 90% of people can't beat the indexes. So I just buy dividend funds that are tied to the indexes. That way, when we have a down year, like in 2022, I'm still getting paid dividends, whereas an SPY can't pay you in a down market. And same for JEPI, okay? JEPI's yield is so low, all right? Cornerstone has a 20% yield. JEPI has an 8% yield or something like that, 7% right here. It's so low that you can't really live out of a JEPI. Plus, it didn't even make it back to its old highs. So there's erosion with JEPI. But Cornerstone has a bigger yield, better performance. Cornerstone averages 20% premiums, and Cornerstone has the special drip at NAV that JEPI doesn't have. So everyone knows here at my channel that Cornerstone has a 21% dividend, and it drips it down at the NAV for 22% gains now every month. Okay, this is Cornerstone right here. We have a 22% gain right now with CRF, and CLM shows approximately 11% gains that we get every month with CLM. Okay, so CLM, 11.5% gains just for dripping that 21% dividend down at the NAV. You get this free money every month. And then CRF gives you 22% gains down at the NAV. I used to trade Cornerstone a couple years ago, and I was getting 30% premiums at NAV, 40% premiums at NAV during 2021. So Cornerstone averages higher premiums than JEPI, has a higher dividend, and it gives you this special drip at NAV that JEPI cannot compete with. So this is why I think you can't anchor with JEPI. Okay, it doesn't even pay you that well in a down market, and Cornerstone pays you more in an up market. Also, Cornerstone dollar cost averages for you in a down market because it drips at the NAV, it drips at the bottom. No other funds in the world do this that are indexed. Okay, so that's why Cornerstone's 5-star, and that's why it's so special. I don't care if people don't like me talking about Cornerstone. They must not be able to buy Cornerstone or must not understand Cornerstone. So that's why I don't anchor with JEPI, I anchor with Cornerstone. What about YMAG? Okay, YMAG is another great fund that I have a lot of money in. Okay, and I've noticed a lot of people are emailing me saying, hey, I'm going to be buying more YMAG. You know, I like the dividend with YMAG. It has around a 27% dividend. Well, it didn't make it back to the old highs. Okay, whereas QQQ did make it back to the old highs. So the problem with YMAG and why you can't anchor with YMAG is because it falls by the amount of the stocks, okay, but doesn't rise back by the amount of the stocks. So Yieldmax fall by the amount of their stocks, once again, but they don't rise back by the amount of their stock gains because there's serious erosion with Yieldmax funds. The other problem with YMAG is that it's not diversified, okay? It only has around 10 names in it, which means that it's gonna fall even more than the indexes on down days. But again, on up days, YMAG does not make it back to the old highs. It erodes, all right? So you're still gonna outperform with YMAG over time. You're still gonna outperform with JEPI over time. But when you're using margin to get ahead, can you withstand the pain up front in a bear market, all right? So when the market fell recently, YMAG fell 5% in a day, whereas the market itself fell 2% in a day. That's why I like to have all of my money in the indexes like a Cornerstone, like Defiance, like Roundhill, because they fall less on down days. And when you're using margin, you have to stay away from margin calls. That's the whole name of the game. So you have to keep your available withdrawal high when you're using margin. And when you have things like Yieldmax, it also has 50% maintenance, all right? Not only does YMAG fall by the amount of its stocks and doesn't rise back by the amount of its stocks, but it also has 50% maintenance, which sucks up 50% of your equity. If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my Volume 3 e-guide. Maintenance is the secret to living financially free out of your brokerage account. Even if you're not using margin, you want to focus on low maintenance names so that you can withdraw out of your account. If you have too many high maintenance names like with Yieldmax, you're going to cannibalize your account when you withdraw. And then when Yieldmax falls in a bear market, you're going to fall by more than the indexes, but you won't recover by the amount of the indexes. So you'll still outperform over time, but can you withstand that margin call up front? That's why I keep Yieldmax positions small and I keep my Cornerstone positions big. Even during the month of August when we had that 15% crash, it barely fell. And even when it did fall, it recovered nicely, all right? So this is why I like Cornerstone so much. I mean, look at this. It's on a tear. It's absolutely destroying everything else that I know that's indexed. And then Schwab D. Do we even need to bring up Schwab D? It only has a 3% dividend, and many people love Schwab D. It's a cult favorite on Reddit, but Schwab D doesn't make you that much money, okay? If you go to a Morningstar chart of Schwab D, a 4-star fund, no doubt about it, not 5-star like Cornerstone or JEPI. So while Schwab D looks like it made a similar amount to Cornerstone over the last 10 years, it doesn't have the dividends that Cornerstone has, so you don't get the qualifying income from Schwab D. Plus, in a down market, Schwab D won't pay you that much. Even though Schwab D holds up well in down markets, you can't get paid from its 3% dividend in a down market. So Schwab D protects you well in down markets, but it doesn't give you enough of a dividend to live on. You have to wait until you're at retirement age with Schwab D in order to reap those benefits. So you don't get paid in a down market really with Schwab D. It holds up better than other funds in down markets, but it doesn't pay you enough of a dividend to live off of. It doesn't give you enough qualifying income to give you loans outside of your brokerage account to really live free from 9 to 5. And you have to wait till retirement in order to really benefit from Schwab D. So that's why I can't anchor with Schwab D, and I have to anchor with Cornerstone instead, because it's so highly rated. It gives you more qualifying income, and it has that special drip at NAV. But beware of Cornerstone and other closed-end funds like Cornerstone. You have to play them properly around their rights offerings in order to take full advantage of their gains. So you can really level up with Cornerstone if you play it around its rights offerings, because you can pocket the 20% premiums that it averages per year, the 20% dividend, the special drip at NAV, and then you reload your shares after the rights offering, which again really helps you level up your account. If you need help playing Cornerstone like I do, that's in my Volume 4 e-guide. And when you buy my e-guides, you get free access to Discord for life. This is a chat room here where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. This is my chat room. This is the chat room that my followers go to, and I think it's the best Discord chat room in the world, in my opinion, that's finance related. We have many other channels here for your enjoyment. We have a Cornerstone channel, Yieldmax, Defiance. We have a Canadian channel, anything that you can think of. But the most important feature here at my Discord chat room is the rights offering announcement. So we're all on top of this rights offering announcement together. We have over 1,000 members here in the Discord chat room pursuing the FIRE lifestyle, and we know that the rights offering is the most important thing standing between us and financial freedom. Most people who follow me don't even know that I own Cornerstone. They think I just like Yieldmax, but no, I keep Yieldmax small. I don't anchor with YMAG for the reasons I listed in this video. I don't anchor with JEPI because it's an inferior fund to Cornerstone. And I don't anchor with Schwab D because it doesn't make me enough qualifying income to live financially free out of my brokerage account. All right, if you need more help doing what I'm doing, email me for my e-guides at akentod48@gmail.com. We're living financially free out of our brokerage accounts using some margin, but you have to play by the rules. We're outperforming the markets with our approach, using Cornerstone as our anchor, Defiance, and Roundhill. I just wanted to compare with you Cornerstone to Schwab D, JEPI, and YMAG to prove who has the better returns and which helps you live financially free out of your brokerage account the best, okay? If you like my video, please click like or subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon, everyone. Thanks.